Good morning and welcome to Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. In the last two episodes, I had talked of various technologies that are going to be sent to space in 2022 by Israel and they pertain to different sectors. Today we talk about those technologies which would be a major accompaniment to this space mission in 2022, which is novel, innovative, and absolutely different than the space missions that have been taken till date are likely to be taken in future because normally technologies experiments are not conducted. There are and if they're conducted, they're only relating to the space. But here Israel has taken a very innovative step in ensuring that the products, experiments, and services can they be utilized in the space and can they be again reutilized here? So this is a sort of a very innovative, explorative approach. Talking of the agro-tech industries, the technology, the first technology that is going to be said mission is what is commonly we are knowing cultivated meat. There has been quite a noise about the lab created meat. Lab processed industries coming up, they are coming to hamburgers, meatballs, steaks, and so on. So Israel says that this cultured lab processed meat industry, where it uses cow cells to produce meats in the lab. So they are going to launch an experiment to space. This experiment will test the potential of pluripotent stem cell differentiation of cattle and formation of muscle tissues embedded in hydrogel. Now, this is different than the lab manufactured meat you get here. Here you get lab manufactured meat which is not meat but which is basically derived from plants. So it's a plant-based meat. But here in Israeli, it's basically a meat because the stem cells are from the cattle. They are embedded in hydrogel. And the second part of the experiment would be can the cell division operate in microgravity? And they'll also try to attempt to grow core cells for cultured meat in space without cores, just the cell development. And as we know, the biggest problem world is going to face is the problem of hunger. So if these cells can be grown in space in controlled conditions, and then quite possible they might be grown over here, and the plant-based meat may be replaced by the real cultured meat. So there'll be three categories of meat: meat as we take it, meat derived from plants, and meat derived from cow cells, and this would give a more variety to the consumer and also, as I said, satisfy the urge for meat lovers and satisfy the hunger of the millions of the people who are likely to face this issue. The second is fresh greens in the space. Now imagine, you can't have greens in the space, they won't grow. So they are sending a technology which will develop fresh greens filled with nutrients and dietary supplements. And they'll grow a water based plant. This water based plant would be of pulses, lentils, and they'll grow it under microgravity conditions in an autonomous growing facility. The leaves of that plant would be tested as food in space and produced in controlled group where the growth rates will be analyzed. And still understand a two-pronged A, giving the greens to the travelers and astronauts. And the capability, if you can grow in microgravity, you can grow in normal gravity situation as well. And then it doesn't need soil. The biggest problem is the soil. With a growth in population, soil is going to be in a shortage. We are going to see multi-story forms. So if it's a hydro-based, water-based, then it can be a further addition to that. And third is making Martian agriculture. Now, this is something absolutely novel. They'll try to control and analyze crops grown on the space station and create conditions to imitate the Mars. Because the first colonization is likely to be on the Mars. So they'll have a MicroMars sort of a lab where they'll grow, analyze crops, and use them. It will also include a habitat that moves on a rotational axis at a fixed speed and gravity that would imitate Mars, and it would include 10 plants. So the complete lab would have 10 plants, and it would not be stationary, it would be moving at a fixed speed. And the situation being that not only the geographical condition, but even the movement of the planet would be taken into consideration. The data including temperature, light, intensity, duration of illumination, gravity, soil moisturization, and growth would be closely monitored. Here, what has happened is this is Israeli idea, but even two universities from USA are joining this absolutely novel experience because if you can grow 10 plants in conditions identical to Mars, then you can grow those plants on the Mars itself. So the issue of transporting food to Mars for the future colonizers would be met to a great extent. Another very interesting thing is space humus. You might have seen it. I have been referring time and again. Now, plant life support systems are a strategic component in any lunar settlement. Most important. Without food, human beings cannot exist. Whether you take in the form of nutrients, liquids, intravenous. But the plants are something which are inherent to mankind. The association of mankind with a plant is centuries old, millennia old. So what they are going to do is small ecosystems would be established to stabilize their environment and prevent ecological failure. As a matter of fact, this would be replicated even on the Earth. The plant life systems of ecosystem, while they are being set up in the space, would also be set up in deserts like Thar, Kalahari, Arizona, and other places. So Stanford University is associated with the Israeli Strauss Group and Yeruham Science Center. What they're going to do is they will use synthetic biology and study plants' extracellular optogenics using the light. And the most important plant they're going to grow is chickpea plant. Now, chickpea is the main component of hummus. You might be asking why chickpea? Chickpea, from which hummus is made, has been specially chosen due to plant hardiness. I remember we had a huge house, and my wife said that okay, we'll grow chickpeas. So she spread chickpeas, and we had abundant crop. Not much of a labor. Once you plant it, it will come up. And these chickpea plants are very hardy and The passive connotation implies is that they're very basic to desert conditions, especially. And hummus is very nutritious. They are nutritious as well, extremely nutritious. So chickpea plant would be grown there using synthetic biology, extracellular opogenics, and they'll use artificial light for that. The whole thing is to provide nutrition and to see the replication of extraterrestrial growth of agriculture with the terrestrial growth and the give and take. Are they going to be complementary and supplementary to study whether they can grow together or whether some conditions need to be changed and adapted? So that would be major. Now, since we have been talking of the agro technologies going into space, two new technologies in agriculture came to my knowledge, so I like to add them. First is Israelis have started producing real milk without cows. Image Dairy is the name of the company. And they are also sending this product abroad, sorry, terrestrial system in the Mars, in the space station. But they have done a breakthrough animal-free technology and they made plant-based alternative that tastes exactly like cow's milk. It's a huge breakthrough and is likely to revolutionize food industry and is going to be useful here on this earth as well as in space. They they claim that expanding market for the non-animal dairy. Now what happens is rice milk and almond milk people are taking, but they're not good replacements for the real milk. You know, it's a slice of animal friendly half and half cheesecake and cup of coffee. If you put rice milk in your coffee, you don't relish it. You want to make a cheesecake, you can't make it. So what they have done is a natural process of precision fermentation, and they make natural but animal free. And this is a version of whey and casein protein that is used to make dairy products without cows. So this was amazing that you make milk having the same ingredients, same taste, same nutrition value without animals. Now that one benefit would be that the A nutritious food would be provided without depending on animals. So biodiversity can be maintained. Secondly, it opens new opportunities to develop a full range of non-dairy products that perfectly mimic the production made with a cow milk. And then it has no cholesterol, no GMOs, genetically modified organisms. And since they are made from animal milk, they are not made from animal milk, they are lactose free and can be served to the consumers who have lactose intolerance or sensitivity. Are you not amazed? And then another thing, which is the technology but not going to space. I thought I'll add it on. You know, the biggest problem nowadays is the plastic bottles, waste. So they have developed a technology to con- convert plastic bottles into vanilla flavoring. The production of this chemical can help recycling become more attractive and tackle global plastic pollution. And as a matter of fact, later on when the water is being transported or something is plastic is being transported, the same thing can be done in the space. The plastic bottles have already been converted to vanilla flavoring. They use genetically engineered bacteria and a very valuable chemical is brewed from the waste plastic. Are you amazed? But then that's the way thing is. At present, when these bottles and the plastic waste is recycled, it loses 95% of its value. 95%. So they want better use, better return. and more better control of the plastic waste. So they have developed a mutant enzyme to break down the polyethylene polymer called TA, and they break it into basic units, and then they use bugs to convert this TA into vanillin. And vanillin is vanilla is used widely. Vanilla otherwise is made from beans and is used widely in the food and cosmetic industry. And not only that, it's an important bulk chemical used in pharmaceuticals, cleaning products, and herbicides. The global demand is 38,000 tons per year, and the total supply is about 20,000 tons made from the natural vanilla beans. What they're doing is 85% of the currently used vanilla is synthesized from chemicals derived from the fossil fuels. So instead of fuels, they'll go to the end product as a plastic bottles and utilize them to create vanilla. So next time you are eating vanilla ice cream, you might be using the water bottle which you threw a couple of days back. Who knows? But this is the way the interactivity between the space, food industry, agriculture industry, and the terrestrial earthly agriculture would be maintained. And this is going to be a watershed in the development of technology and interspace travel, both together, along with satisfying the hunger of the people, both here and in space. Thank you.